أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Dear beloved believers, I greet all of you today in this honorable occasion, Salatul Jumah, the Khutbah, and the prayers, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ali, you have this on the boat, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, as always, we ask Allah's favor and we ask His protection always. We ask for His hidayah, His guidance, His nasr, His help. And we ask Allah to bless each and every one of us with sabr, patience, and perseverance. We ask Allah, alhamdulillah, how we see each other today, how you're looking at me, I'm looking at you. Alhamdulillah, it is of the utmost seriousness that with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we also see each other in Jannah. Inshallah. Like I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. This is a great possibility. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. That the Rasulullah sallallahu is the one who kept Allahu Akbar wa lillahi alhamd, his balance in his life, his uswa, his siwa, the balance of his spirituality. He paid attention to it. This is our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I want to take time and mention about him. And he took time to focus on his siwa, his balance as a human being, not as a God, no. But the possibilities to live his life in accord with the Shah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He saw it. He saw it. He was living it. He never saw other than that. He never saw other than living in his fitrah and witnessing, alhamdulillah, actions in his fitrah, in his original nature. So he never knew the other thing to have judgment on it from that perspective. He never knew it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him from his birth, from his childhood, from his birth. He was already chosen to live a life of a young man who was living in accord with his purity, the purity of his human nature. Alhamdulillah. So we say that, and I say that real humbly because there's a lot of things going on in the world, and we're surrounded by a lot of stuff, a lot of news, a lot of things, swamp, draining the swamp, and all of these different little things that's going on in the political world and all of this, in the economy, with the educational system, and all of these things that surrounds us. And inshallah, we do not become victims of this attempt to lure the human being away from his and her human nature, inshallah. And if you say inshallah silently, I'd appreciate it. Say it in your mind. Inshallah, we're not lured into any of the vices of the shaitan, of the shayateen, inshallah. So we praise Allah, merciful benefactor, merciful redeemer. We give praise and thanks. We say subhanallah. We glorify Allah. Subhanallah, and we say shukrullah, we thank Allah, and Allah tells us in the Quran that if we are thankful, look around, see what you have. What do you have? What do you own? Look around you. Family, nice, healthy family. 2 boys. Nice, healthy family. And wife and things. Children. Look at that. Look at that. Think about it. Friends, associates, people that are concerned about you. Some of them, and when we were coming up, they were more concerned about us than we were concerned about ourselves. SubhanAllah, alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. So you can't really be the good mate, a good zawj. And you can't be the good friend. You can't, if he got your back, he got your back, whatever. You know, you can't be the good friend. So I wanted to say these things because, you know, this is not a religion. Deen al-Islam is not a religion for space ghosts, people that space out, you know, that want to get heavy and trip out. This is not a religion for that. This is a religion for people who think practically and live their lives realistically, who have a family, who have children, who raise those children based upon the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. Qawwamuna, that the men are the qawwamuna. The men are the maintainers. This is our role, brothers. We are the maintainers and protectors, providers of women. Maintain does not only mean to give a bowl of cereal every morning. Doesn't mean that. Be able to pay for a bowl of Kellogg's, cornflakes or something, or her favorite meal, chicken and waffles or something in the morning. No, that doesn't mean to provide for her physically. You know, a good meal, a good, nice wardrobe. You know how they like shoes. Shoes, nice shoes, latest shoes or whatever. I know you do it. It's okay. If you got the money, do it. This is the life. Don't be extravagant, but take care of what you need to take care of so you can have a nice environment in the home. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ ثُمَّ انظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ. He tells us, get up, get in your car, get in a plane, travel. Travel in the earth, he says. Siru fil ardi. Travel in the earth, travel in the land. And observe. So Allah said, first travel, go somewhere. Don't stay in one place. Get up, go somewhere. Don't be at the house, then go to the work, then come back to the house, and then go to the masjid, and then come back home, and then go to the store, you know, and then come back home, and that's it. Allah said, don't do that. Travel in the earth. Go somewhere. Because Allah wants you and I to thumman dhuru, and observe what you see out there. And I don't have time because I know Allah is my witness. I already know, alhamdulillah, and I'm not flexing or nothing like this. This is just where I am in my mind and in my heart. I know that we will be here until Fajr in the morning if I continue this line of thinking that I'm having right now. I know that. So Allah is telling us, get up and go out. Travel in the land. ثُمَّ انظُرُوا, and observe how or what was the end of those who were عَاقِبَةُ مُكَذِّبِينَ. Al-Mukadhibin. Those people who were liars. That's the root of it. People that lied about God. They lied about religion. They lied about how to associate with one another. They lied about the way in which a society is supposed to be structured. There's something prevalent now in this world, and I know you know it because you've seen it in your countries, but I don't want to dwell on it a lot, but you know it exists. Something called structural racism. Back in the old countries, they call it caste system. Structural. You know what structure is? I don't know what. Yeah, you know, all you engineers and chemists and doctors and lawyers. I know you had to have a structured report. Your report, you have to do your due diligence. In other words, your report, your findings must be the truth, and they must be structured and laid out in a way where the evidence of your case is crystal clear. Am I right? Yeah. Do your and my, and this is, I'm talking to myself as well, Imam Hatim, do your homework. Do your homework, brothers and sisters, because that homework, if you are a student and a teacher and a follower of Muhammad Rasulullah based upon the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that homework is going to put you in a certain frame of thinking, and your soul is going to be basking in what you have found. Because what you find is the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hitting your soul, hitting your heart. And your heart is going to be basking in that knowledge and in that wisdom and in that understanding. The question becomes, am I able to live what I see? I see this Quran. I see this knowledge in this Quran. I see the wisdom in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can I become a bona fide and qualified follower of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu? Can I do that? Or the environment sometimes that we live in, it will be coming, because Satan, the shaitan, he made a promise to God, to Allah. He mentioned that, look, these that you're saying are Khalifa, they're not able to do this. They're not able to be Khalifa fil ard. Allah made the announcement, and you know this whole story. He made the announcement in Jannah. I am going to create a Khalifa fil ard. Shaitan said, Iblis said, these people are not, they're not going to be able to handle that. Ana astakhbara, I'm better, bigger. I astakhbara, bigger than this creation that you're about to make. He was talking about all of us, brothers and sisters. He was talking about you. He was talking about me. You're not qualified, he said. He said, well, I wasn't there. Please, come on now. Come on now. Your ancestors were there, destined to come here. And he made the statement that you and I are not qualified. Allah said, so be it. Do what you will. I know that which you do. God said, Allah said this. Allahu Akbar wa lillah. I know what you do not know about what I created. And this creation, brothers and sisters, listen. Listen. Allah is not finished with you yet. Allah, it's not like the other world that they introduce us to. Oh, I raised my children. All I need to do now is sit back. You can't do that. My children have gone to school and everything. No, you can't do that. This is not that kind of religion. When do you get rest? You stay tired. When do you get rest? Inshallah. Meta, when you enter into Jannah. That's when you get rest. You're going to be tired. Expect it. Get a little nap, take a little break, but you're going to be tired. You're going to be tired. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ you struggle. Certainly with struggle comes the ease. The ease is not going to come like that. So we're in an environment, brothers and sisters, that are similar to the environment of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he laid the path for us, and similar to the environment of Abu Bakr, Uthman, and Ali, peace be upon all of them. This is the same kind of vexing environment that surrounds us. So how do we navigate in this environment? The same way we navigated, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ navigated, and the Sahaba, peace be upon all of them, they navigated in it. They lived their life in it. They survived in it. They prospered in it. They were productive in it. Why can't we be productive in this environment? And then I hear him already. I can't be Rasulullah, ya Sheikh. I can't be Rasulullah. You follow Rasulullah, then you can make it in this society. You have the Quran, then you can make it in this society. And Allah tells us in the Quran, travel in the land, observe how those before in the previous generations ended up. They're still digging right now of societies, worlds, communities. They're digging up whole towns, whole cities that were buried. Some by natural process, others because they gave up the life that God had given them naturally. And they wanted to start doing things like create what I'm going to talk about after I sit down and get up. May Allah accept the first part of this khutbah, and may He accept the du'as and the intentions, the niyyah of all of us who come to the Jumah prayer, that we follow Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and we follow his book. Ameen. والصلاة والسلام على خير المرسلين محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And I just want to share something with you as a reminder to myself and reminder to all of us that are present. You have a good chance to go to heaven. Inshallah. Listen, everybody in here, you have a good chance to enter into Jannah. We only have to do one thing, which is in two things in one statement. وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا رَسُولَهُ. Obey Allah and obey His messenger. Live your life. And Allah has promised us, Inna wa'adallahu al-haqq. Certainly the promise is true. People will promise you things, but they break their promise. You can think of one right now. If I just ask you to just stop and think, did somebody break their promise? Yeah, I remember. But Allah, He never breaks His promise. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When He promises us something, then He is the one who keeps His promise. And we should be like that. We are Abdullah, we are servants of Allah, and Allah keeps His promise. So when we make promises, let's keep our promises. And you have a better family, a better Jama'ah, a better community, and also that will result as in a better world. And just be patient with me. We're going to stop in just one moment. But I want to re-emphasize something. And that is structural racism. And it goes deep. I hope you're listening to me. I have to be careful. I have to be careful not to become biased in any way or seeing myself as better than anybody. I have to be careful. It starts with the individual, doesn't it? It starts with the individual. And if the individual buys into this old ancient game of the shaitan, the shayateen, of I am better than this person, then you too, Muslim, become a victim of structured racism. I have to check my own heart, because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he didn't teach that. He taught Quran. He taught religious guidelines, not for the skin. Allahu Akbar walillahil hamd. He didn't teach for the skin man. Allahu Akbar. He taught for the soul man, the man that really was in touch with his soul and his heart. That person that looks at the world through his soul. See, that's a technique. Am I looking at the world through my soul? With my soul, my essential self? Or am I looking at the world through my habits? The essential self was created by Allah. That's the self that's going back to Allah. After this day. After this dimension. That part of you, because it never was intended by Allah for that nafs to stay in you. It was created so that it will come down from Jannah and get in you, and after your life here, our lives here, to get out of you and then go back. Because as we have said here before, you've been here long enough to remember. This is just a spacesuit. This thing here is just a spacesuit, and we're traveling. You've been here long enough. You remember I said that before. As a student of the Quran and as a student of science and history, biology, physiology, that all of this stuff, the flesh, the bones, the calcium, and the water, and the gas that you're made out of, that you're using as a spacesuit, it weighs no more than 3 ounces in reality. So where are you then? You are essentially the operator of this spacesuit that you're in. How are you going to be operating this thing? What are you going to make these hands do? Where are these eyes going to look? Where is this brain? What is this brain going to think? How am I going to operate this thing? Wa'ati'ullah, wa'ati'ur Rasul. I want to obey Allah, and I want to obey His messenger with this ability. You have a good chance to go to Jannah. I want to see you there. I would like to be qualified to be there, so I can see you there, so we can do whatever people do in Jannah together. This is not it, man. You're getting all that money, hustling and going on. Just hustling. I got it. Don't do that. Don't treat yourself like that. You abuse your soul when you do that. You get under so much pressure, you forget Jumah. Get under so much pressure, you forget Dhuhr and Asr. You forget to pray. I got to get it. No, don't do it. Don't treat your soul like that. It's not good for your soul. It's a like they have the common cold. The common cold is when you get the common cold, you start sniffing, call it. You know, you don't want to sniff. You go across the counter to the drug man, and you get an antidepressant to depress the cold. You don't want to do that anymore. But in reality, as I'm learning, as a student also of science and medical research, that the cold is the cure. You have to go through it. You have to live through the cold. Don't give the cold a suppressant. All right? Do what is normal, what you do. But if you get too sick, yes, go to the doctor. But for you to have the sniffles when it gets cold, that's normal. Animals do that. But you want to suppress your cold. The same way that people suppress their living, the true life of a believer. I want to suppress this. I can't do that. I can't do it right now. I'm going to suppress this. I'm going to suppress my prayer. I'm going to suppress my sadaqah. I'm going to suppress me praying to Allah, extra prayers and extra du'as to Allah. I'm going to suppress that ability that Allah has given to me in this world. And when I suppress it, I cut myself short of the barakah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't cut yourself short, brothers and sisters. Make extra prayers, make extra du'as to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Protect your family, protect your children. Do extra things. Allah says, travel in the land, you'll see the end of those who denied the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning. Check your tendency to be better than somebody else. We're all brothers. That's the reason why the Sahaba around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they loved each other so much, because they weren't selfish. They loved each other so much because they looked out for one another. The men and the women, they looked out for one another. And did you know that there were women, some women who in some wars they disguised themselves as men because they wanted to go to battle fi sabilillah, in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's much to be said about this. Say, well, ma'am, you on your black stallion. I start saying white stallion. I prefer black stallion. Say, oh, ma'am, that's a form of racism. No, I just like black stallions. Arabian stallions at that. The one they have in Morocco. There's a lot of injustices in this world. Brothers and sisters, we should pray for justice in this world. Oh, you believe, stand out firmly for justice as witnesses to Allah, because we're going to be asked about, did we see that? Why didn't you stand up? Did you see the other thing? Why didn't you stand up for justice? Kunu qawwamina bil qisti shuhada lillah. Stand out firmly for justice and witness to Allah, even as against yourselves or your parents or your kin, whether it be against rich or poor, for Allah can be the best to protect both. رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَّدُنكَ رَحْمَةً إِنَّكَ أَنتَ الْوَهَّابُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. آمين. E-commerce.